We're getting breaking news that the Home Ministry has written to the UP government and questioned them as to why cases against those in the Badaun rape case and rape and murder case have not been registered under the SC/ST Act. Kamaljeet Kaur Sandhu is now joining us with more details. Kamal, what else does this letter from the Home Ministry say, and what action can be taken in a case like this? What's the Home Ministry saying?
Even though law and order remains a state subject, but remember this is an extremely sensitive issue. Women's security in particular has been a sensitive issue as far as Ministry of Home Affairs is concerned. And we know the Centre State Division of Ministry of Home Affairs has shot of that letter to Uttar Pradesh Police, and obviously asking them as to why the SC/ST Act has not been put in place in this particular case itself. And remember, these two girls who had gone to the field to relieve themselves, obviously there have been a lot of questions being raised as to why these public toilets were not made available. But looking into the law and order situation itself, there have been cases in Uttar Pradesh in particular. There's been a case in Azamgarh just recently. So in that sense, we know that this case has caused a national and international furor. And considering that, Ministry of Home Affairs has taken a very intensive look into this entire case. And obviously, they have short of a letter. There have been letters sent in earlier also, but this is in particular asking the government and the police as to why the SC/ST Act has not been put in place.
All right, so the Home Ministry has issued a missive now to the UP government asking them as to why this particular case in Badaun has not been registered against the SC/ST Act. Now, as the anger over the rising lawlessness and crime graph in Uttar Pradesh boils over, here's a look at the lack of sanitation facilities that is the other evil that plagues women in the region.
These two girls were raped and killed when they'd gone out to relieve themselves, a risk that is faced by nearly a quarter of India's population every single day.
हेलीकॉप्टर वगैरह से आई हैं, अगर इतना खर्चे में यहाँ पे 2 टॉयलेट बनवाते हो ज्यादा अच्छा नहीं रहता? बेहतर रहता, बहुत बेहतर रहता।
नहीं, नेता लोग आते बात भी नहीं करते। अब शौचालय होती है, कमरा होता है, और फिर भी तो महिला गरीब घर की तो बाहर जाएगी, जैसे मजदूरी तो करने जाएगी, महिला अंदर नहीं रहेगी। फिर कर जो ऐसा अनर्थ नहीं होना चाहिए सर। और शौचालय कमरा भी जिसका झोपड़ी है, जिसका 10-10 मंजिल होता है सर, कमरा मिल रहे हैं।
It's not the first instance where girls and women have gotten raped or murdered when they go out to defecate. And most victims belong to backward and deprived groups. Yet providing sanitation facility has surprisingly been missing from the priorities of the messiahs of the downtrodden. While leaders like Jairam Ramesh had spoken of sanitation, it took a man like Narendra Modi to make sanitation an election issue.
पहले शौचालय, फिर देवालय.
UNICEF says that over 59 crore people in India defecate in the open. Of these, roughly half would be women. And they put themselves in danger as they go out when it is dark and try harder to find a private place. The risk of ending up in a body bag is simply unacceptable. Let's hope that the tragic end of the Badaun sisters will spur the government to move faster on sanitation for all. Bureau Report, Headlines Today.